So there was a pretty interesting scuffle that happened that was pretty hilarious, and it was all spawned out of a mistake. So you guys know Jordan Chariton from Status Coup. He sent out a tweet that says, earlier today, David Pakman made a negative comment about Status Coup on his show. After I called him out for it, he apologized and claimed to have been confused about who our channel was. As a result, I'll be deleting a tweet I wrote critical of him. Thanks for the apology. And basically what happened was David Pakman was live streaming and he was playing Status Quo's live stream, and he remarked that it was a Trump channel. Now, this is a tweet from, I think, somebody that works at Status Quo. It says, hearing that David Pakman showed Status Quo footage and told viewers we're a, quote, Trumpist channel, this is a small space. I don't expect you, David, to know that I exist. But pretty sure you know who Jordan Chariton is, and that is the furthest thing from the truth. So why lie? So she was demanding an apology from David Pakman. He said, I will be offering an apology and correction in the next 10 minutes on my live stream. Sincere apologies. Now, so basically it was a misunderstanding there. Jordan Chariton has kind of entrenched himself inside of the Jimmy Dore camp. And so typically whenever you're entrenched in a camp like that, you'll assume the same enemies that the person has. Jordan Chariton is really kind of hitched on to Jimmy Dore a lot, just kind of follows him around on a lot of stuff. And so, he's going to use David Pakman as an enemy because David Pakman and Jimmy Dore don't like each other, obviously. But interestingly enough, randomly, Jimmy Dore decided to jump in on this. Very bizarre. He responded to the original tweet that Jordan Chariton had deleted going after David. And he says, yes, David A. Pakman is well-known faux progressive and red-baiting defender of status quo who always punches left and McCarthy smears his political opponents. So it's an interesting comment coming from Jimmy Dore. We're going to talk about this, but I actually want to show you the footage from David Pakman's live stream where he actually comes across this from Jimmy Dore. I want you to check it out.
Now at the Capitol, where we are hearing that lawmakers will resume the Electoral College count process.
Oh, wait a sec. What? Jimmy Dore attacked me? Let me look at that. Jimmy Dore attacked me. Oh, he did. Oh, I'm going to like it. I always just like when Jimmy Dore attacks me, I get the instinct I'm doing something right. Check this out. Jimmy, see, I knew that the revolutionary left was going to go after this. Let's see. Oh, look. Yeah, look at this. So, oh my goodness, this is just so sad. All I can do is like it. So earlier, this guy named Jordan Chariton was mad at me because I mistakenly said his channel was a Trumpist channel earlier today in the midst of a live stream. I was wrong to do that. I apologized at the top of the stream. And as you can see, I said it was an honest mistake. I'm about to correct it. And then I guess he didn't like my apology. And he said, I guess I'm just a bad person. I don't know. So then now Jimmy Dore seized on it and says, yes, David Pakman is faux progressive and red-baiting defender of status quo who always punches left, and McCarthy smears his political opponents. Doesn't McCarthy smears mean calling people socialists and communists? Isn't that what McCarthy smearing is? I'm the one who says it's stupid to attack people as being socialist when they're not. David Al Pakman, is that like Islamist? Like as if I was a Muslim? I don't even know what this is. Can someone tell me what it means to McCarthy smear people? Does that mean I call people communists? Is it alpaca because I'm Argentinian? Al Pakman, like alpaca. I don't even know. Yes, communist. Wow. That's crazy. I'm just going to retweet it. Retweet. I don't even get that. David Al Pakman is a red-baiting defender of status quo who punches left and McCarthy smears his political opponents. I feel like I do the opposite of McCarthy smearing in that I say we shouldn't call people socialists and communists as an insult if they are not socialists and this is very interesting. This is very interesting. This is really the worst of the left. And I don't even know if this stuff is left. I mean, you guys tell me. And then again, the blue no matter who, I don't even know what that means. I'm still curious. David Pakman, like, is that an Argentinian joke because of Argentinian alpacas? Or is it like David Pakman, like as if I have a Muslim last name, even though I'm Jewish? I wish I understood it. AI, like I'm an AI. Like I'm an AI or something. Holy shit. I don't know, guys. But anyway, when I talk about the left doing things that are weird, that's kind of what I'm talking about. I think the AI means artificial intelligence. The AI Pakman, it's a reference to APAC.
So I gotta say, the sort of lack of knowledge of stuff that David Pakman has is kind of bizarre. He did, towards the end, when he started reading comments, realize that it was a reference to APAC, the Israeli lobby in the United States. A very, very powerful political lobby, of course. And that was a reference to David Pakman basically, defending Israel on occasions, as well as, remember when he made those AS claims about Ilhan Omar during that huge controversy? That was one of those things that a lot of people it started to build up, right? A lot of people started to dislike Pakman, who are progressives, and it wasn't just one singular thing; it was multiple things. Some of those things being when he jumped on that controversy, saying that Ilhan Omar was on, AS, tropes or whatever, that kind of stuff. And then, his Bolivia take, as well as joining ThinkSpot, like the Jordan Peterson platform, all that kind of stuff. It started to kind of add on to each other, add up, right? He started putting out videos saying Medicare for All isn't going to happen anytime soon, which is a very bizarre video. It started to become sort of this trend, right? So I don't even really consider David Pakman to really be a progressive YouTuber anymore, right? It's like it's clear, your Kyle Kalinskis, your Sam Cedars, these people are clearly in that realm, right? I don't think David Pakman is really in that group anymore. I feel like he's entrenched himself as MSNBC Lite. If you go through his videos, all of his videos are videos on Donald Trump that you'd see on MSNBC. His channel's been MSNBC Lite for the past couple years now, and he's floored the gas pedal on this grift, essentially, of just going Trump, 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 just nonstop. He doesn't care about the progressive movement. He didn't support Justice Democrats. He wants nothing to do with helping progressive candidates winning. He doesn't give a shit about any of that stuff. He is one of the most liberal people you will ever come around. His channel is dog shit, basically. So I don't consider it to be a progressive channel. It's just not one of those anymore. He didn't even support Bernie Sanders during the primary. So, just a massive bitch, basically. So Jimmy Dore is correct that David Pakman sucks, but Jimmy Dore is also kind of a crazy person himself. Obviously, Jimmy Dore is now calling AOC and all the squad sellouts, and somehow that they're not progressives, which is absolute insanity. So when it comes to ranking them, I have David Pakman like down here, but I have Jimmy Dore a lot below David Pakman, because at least David Pakman isn't out there shitting on progressives, right? Jimmy Dore is out there just literally everything we've built up with the Justice Democrats. He's calling them sellouts. He's saying they're frauds. And the conclusion of that is they're sellouts. We need to primary them. We need to go third party. All a bunch of bullshit, right? And so he's, doing legitimate damage to them. Anytime you say that they're sellouts or they're frauds, it indicates, you don't really have any progressives, and then you have to go some other route, which I think is total BS. I totally disagree. I firmly believe that the squad are progressives and genuinely support Medicare for all and those kinds of things. And I think anybody to say things to the contrary, I think, are insane. So they both have a lot of issues here. David Pakman's sort of bizarre, his sort of, I don't know if he feigns ignorance in a fake way, where people will call into his show asking him about stuff and he won't know anything about it. He's either lying or he genuinely doesn't know. Maybe he just doesn't pay attention because, hey, he's not really entrenched in the progressive, movement or side anymore at all. I'm not really sure which one it is. But again, I do feel like he's pretty firmly outside of it, and not understanding the whole McCarthy smear thing obviously has to do with the Russiagate stuff of, the connection between, obviously, McCarthy was a senator who would say, oh, this person's a communist, spy for the USSR. Similarly, he's basically saying that David Pakman says, oh, you're working for Russia, you're a spy or whatever. He did support Russiagate and all that stuff. I don't really know what to make of Russiagate. Honestly, I really don't know. But David Pakman is indeed a faux progressive. The only time I've seemed to see him even defend progressives like AOC is from people like Jimmy Dore. He hasn't defended them from anybody else. He's often shitted on them himself. So, it's sad. I mean, you just got two just big blobs of shit, basically, is what you've got. And that's sort of the two people here that are kind of duking it out right now. Jordan Chariton, his stuff is obviously, he's a reporter, and so he actually does like real reporting where he goes on the ground to protests, interviews people, does those kinds of things. Obviously, he's not a Trumpist channel, of course not. Yeah, I've watched interviews he's done with Trump people recently, and he goes and he has conversations with them. He's obviously not a Trump supporter. That's completely false, obviously. But David Pakman says it was a mistake, right? But it's interesting to say, interesting nonetheless. I would say that I would not watch either Jimmy Dore or David Pakman. I unsubscribed from David Pakman a long time ago, and I haven't really looked back. Not really anything of value lost. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on David Pakman. Are you still watching David Pakman? Does anybody still watch David Pakman at this point? I don't understand why you would, but definitely would be surprising to hear that maybe there's a few for whatever reason. His content does get kind of boring after a while of watching, and I think that ends up being a pretty big problem. But both Jimmy Dore and David Pakman are pretty terrible.